Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be continuing reading our entire Bible story. Today's, we're going to be continuing David's story. So obviously we're getting, really into David's story. We were in Samuel. Samuel unfortunately passed. But now we're going to read the fall of Saul. So now we're really getting into the point of David becoming king. So this is based on, and obviously he's a man now. He's probably much more wise. Got a little, he's got himself an army and things like that. So let's just see how this goes. It's based on 1 Samuel chapter 26, 28, and 31. So this says, "For all of Saul's empty promises, he has never given up his hatred for David. In between fighting against the Philistines, he leads his army after David. While spying on their camp, David decides on a risky plan to end Saul's persecution once and for all." And Saul and even David's son Solomon are, great a great image of somebody who can really fall from God. These were men that were for the Lord. We learned that, Saul, he might not have been the greatest, follower of God, but, he was. He gave praise to God and things like that. But the more, as he became king, the more he decided not to listen to God's words. He disobeyed God's order and eventually just fell completely from it. Even Solomon, as we'll see, got great wisdom from God and built a great city, and God blessed him incredibly. But he decided to, because his wives would worship false gods, he began building false gods in there, and he began his fall from God. So this is to show, no matter, you can fall from God. So we must be battle ready always. We must be always ready for what the devil throws at us. The devil always tries to use things to get people to turn from God. Sometimes he uses death. You may be a Christian mom and a Christian dad, and your 3-year-old daughter unfortunately passes away by something, that you would, and everybody's always questioning, how can God do this? How can God let this happen? And the devil will use things like that to get people away from God. So you must be always battle ready, And what is the greatest, weapon we can use? Well, the greatest 2 weapons is prayer to God. Praying every single day, multiple times a day, whenever you can, is very important, as well as obviously not the Action Bible specifically, but a normal Bible. Just go get you a Bible and read it. Genesis to Revelations, and reading that every day. That is the fruit of your soul. Just like your body needs food to survive, your soul needs food to survive as well, and that food is the Bible, and that will get you battle ready. So let's continue this. It shows David and says, "Hey, Abishai, you want to be a hero?" In the dark night, David and his nephew sneak into the camp. They carefully pick their way through the sleeping soldiers. One wrong step and they could wake the whole army, an army that wants nothing more than to kill them. Stealthily, they creep up beside the sleeping king. "God has put your enemy in our hands. With one blow I could put him to the ground. I promise I won't miss." "No, the Lord anointed Saul king of Israel, and the Lord will decide when and how Saul is to die. Just hand me his spear and water jug." See, in this show was just what a great man he was, and great honor he was. He wasn't just going to ruthlessly kill Saul. He knew that God had anointed Saul still yet to be king, and that God has a plan for Saul, and God decides when Saul's time is up, as we'll see. The next morning, David calls down to Saul's camp, just as he did when in the cave. He had took his piece of his clothing. He had took Saul's water jug and his spear. "King Saul, do these look familiar? You took them while I sleep. Again, you could have killed me, and you didn't. I've been a fool. I'll never try to hurt you again." And Saul leads his army away. He says, "Look, they're leaving. You're safe." No. Saul made the same promise before. "I'll never be safe as long as the king lives." Yeah, Saul has made many promises to David and said, "No, I'll never hurt you, Dan. I'm never going to do." And again, he keeps coming for him. And God knows this. So as long as Saul lives, David will always be on the run. But Saul is not safe either. His army is confronted, on the way out, on the leading out, they're confronted by the unified Philistine forces. When Saul sees the powerful Philistine army, he is afraid. Frantically, he calls upon God for help, but because he killed God's priests and disobeyed God's commands, God would no longer speak to him. Terrified, he resorts to a dark power. And so he did something that he should not. And people don't know this, but witchcraft is a real thing. There is dark power. Where does this dark power come from? It comes from the devil. It comes from the demons. You know, they give these people this power and these promises only to lead these people to hell. So, and since God wouldn't listen to him because he disobeyed God, he killed his priests, his prophets, all that stuff, and all he's done to David, he turns to darker, to witches, to demonic power. Excuse me. Where can I find a woman who speaks to the spirits of the dead? I need some advice. There's a witch on Endor, but but we can't let people see us breaking the law, so we'll have to go by night. Tonight, Saul and 2 servants sneak across the sneak across the hills to the village of Endor and knock on the door. I'll pay you well to call up the spirit of the one I name. Surely you know that King Saul has ordered all witches put to death. Are you trying to trap a poor old woman? I swear to the Lord that nothing will happen to you if you do what I ask. Very well. What spirit can I call to soothe your troubled soul? Call the spirit of the prophet Samuel. The woman calls for the spirit of Samuel. For a moment all is still. Then a human shape slowly appears in the smoke. And this is probably more so of God's doing as well. You know, he calls upon Samuel because Samuel has passed away. He's in heaven now, but now Sam is going to give him some treacherous news. Suddenly the witch cries out terror because she is more shocked. You know, witchcraft is a real thing, but, you know, and it's demonic forces that, you know, enforce it. But it's also a fake thing as well. Many of them just use it to and basically act like they speak through them when they're just making up stuff. So when Samuel actually appears in the smoke, I mean, she was shocked as well as them all, but God put Samuel there to deliver a message to Saul. Oh no, it really is Samuel. You must be King Saul. Please don't kill me. Why have you roused me? The Philistines are attacking me. God has rejected me. I need you to tell me what to do. If the Lord wouldn't help you, what makes you think I will? You rejected the Lord's command, so now he's rejected you. David will be the next king. Tomorrow your army will be defeated, and you and your sons will be dead. And this just goes to show you what you know, your actions can have horrible consequences. It just didn't affect Saul; it affected his kingdom, and it affected his sons as well, including Jonathan, David's friend. In despair, a weakness, Saul falls flat on the ground and unable to get up. And the witch says, "Please don't hurt me for doing what you ask. I am sorry that Samuel had such bad news for you. Please just take this food and leave me in peace." Saul doesn't want any food, but the witch and his guards encourage him to eat. After he has time to regain some strength, he returns to his camp. The next morning, the Philistines attack. Under a weak and frightened king, Israel retreats in panic. The enemy is everywhere. We can't stop them. My sons, where are they? Dead, sir, dead. And I am badly wounded. Draw your sword and kill me. I would rather die by your hand than be captured by the Philistines. So instead of being captured and tortured and who knows what else, he'd rather his own man kill him. And, you know, he's like, kill my king? I can't. You know, that's his king, that's his leader. That's, you know, if he would kill him, who knows what the people might do. So Saul draws his own sword and falls onto it, killing himself. Samuel's prophecy is fulfilled. The reign of King Saul comes to a tragic end. So now we have been through Saul's story, and now we're getting ready to lead into David taking over that reign and becoming the next king. You know, Saul was, you know, great at first, but he really was never a truly great king, and he fell so far from God and turned to much more darker things and done even more darker things that he should have never had done. Unfortunately, that led into his tragic fall. You know, he had a horrible ending in a horrible death. But um, that's why disobeying God is not a good thing at all. And He may not do anything to you here, but the afterlife, the hell that you will enter will be horrible and it'll be horrifying. And you may see people like that. You may see people like, hey, these people keep getting away and they get it off easy, but if they fall into hell, which is not what they want, not what we want, but they fall into hell, it'll be much worse. So, if you see that, you see the people falling away from God, they may seem like they're getting easy because the devil makes it look like that. He wants it to look fun, so everybody will do it, so everybody will fall away from God. But our goal is to teach people that is the wrong way. Suffer now and live an eternal kingdom and glory, or have glory here but suffer in eternity. So that is the choice, and it doesn't mean you will suffer here. There are many Christians that have are very blessed, and even myself. You have a home, you have cars, very great opportunities. But sometimes God does test you, just like He did Job. But either way, I thank you guys for watching. If you learned something new, God bless. Take it easy. I'll catch you guys next week.